Today I have another watch from Ollech Wajs, the Rallychron Coupe des Alpes. When the Rallychron was released in 2023, O&W partnered with Rally Story, a heritage motorsports event organization, and the Coupe des Alpes is a commemorative version and was always meant to be for the community involved in the event and the local market. It's also a very limited production. Ollech started receiving a lot of interest in this specific model though, so they are now likely to make it a limited annual production. This special version is the same as the regular Rallychron in everything but the color and one strap. The regular version is gray, black, and gold. This one is gray, black, and alpine blue, and it comes with a nylon alpine blue strap and a mesh heritage strap. It's using a similar case as a few other OW models. The movement is the Valju 7753 automatic, and well, just look at that dial in these colors, which is what I think has been attracting so many to this piece. Pricing is currently $3,072 USD, so let's get to it and check out this beautiful Rally chronograph. Speaking of limited, currently this looks to be a production of only 56 pieces per year, which represents the founding year of Ollech and Wajs and the 56 two-person teams involved in the infamous 1958 Coupe des Alpes, the most grueling on record as the website states. On screen, you'll see all the specifications, and on the OW website, you can read more about the Motorsport Coupe des Alpes event and the history and the inspiration for this piece, but I want to concentrate on the watch itself. The case, like most OW watches, is 39.5 millimeters in width. That excludes the crown, and it has a lug-to-lug of 48 millimeters. This one is all satin brushed steel everywhere except that DLC tachometer bezel. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is how much I like the look of this watch. I find pretty much everything about this watch to be attractive, from the case to the dial, the black DLC bezel, and of course, the colors. The regular version of the Rallychron is quite attractive as well, but the alpine blue color used with the gray, black, and white just really stands out to me, and of course, paired with that alpine blue and white nylon NATO, it stands out even more. The overall thickness is 15 millimeters, and yet it actually looks thicker than that to my eye, mostly due to the bezel and the case back. This is the thickest bezel on any OW I have reviewed, and I tried to take my measurements with calipers, and I wouldn't call them exact measurements, but I got around 4.6 millimeters thick, though it's hard to get under that bezel perfectly with my calipers. That leaves the mid case and the case back coming to just a little over 10 millimeters in thickness, and for a watch with this movement and the fact that it's 300 meters water resistant, it's not that thick of a watch. Unlike a lot of dive models from OW, this one has a very flat sapphire crystal as well. The tack bezel slides nicely around the watch, really easy to grip with how thick it is and that coin edge, and it has a nice solid feel about it. Now, apparently, this is where things get interesting when it concerns the lap times on the bezel. I'm going to take this right from the Ollech and Wajs website. In collaboration with Hervé Charbonneau, a classic car collector, rally driver, historical rally promoter, and author, Ollech and Wajs hypothesized perfect lap times for each circuit based on a set of criteria and variables. The undertaking was not a straightforward one, since race conditions varied greatly from competition to competition, and even track lengths, surfaces, and configurations changed. The theoretical metrics engraved on the bezel will no doubt spark debates amongst motorsport enthusiasts that continue long into the night. Okay, so there is an explanation about that bezel. But let's get to this dial. I love the gray dial, but the photos on the website make it appear a darker gray than it is in person. I took this watch in my studio, in my house, at an event I had to go to, and outside, and in every lighting condition, it's a lighter gray than depicted. At the top of the dial is a prominent Coupe des Alpes in that alpine blue, and you find that blue for the subdial hands, the chrono second hand, and around the bezel edge. Layout here is pretty standard for a Valjoux 7753 chronograph. It's a 3-eye chrono where you're running seconds on the 9 o'clock subdial, and this one has a date cut out at the 6 o'clock register. And I'm sure they did this to blend it all together. I think this is one of the few times I would prefer a black on white date window, as it can get lost in that subdial a little. The hour and minute hand are eye-catching as well, all brushed steel with alternating black and white squares, creating a ladder type look. Changing the date is done via a separate button on the non-crown side of the case located at 10 o'clock, and when you have the crown unscrewed and pull it out, you can use a little tool, I have this one wrapped in plastic, to press and advance the date. Speaking of the crown, it's large and easy to grip like on every OW. I really do love these crowns on most of their watches. And the chrono pushers depress nicely and they have a good click about them, and they are standard pushers. These do not screw down. As far as functionality for the chronograph, it's pretty straightforward. You have your start pusher, stop, and reset, and it will track up to 12 hours with a 30-minute counter at 3 and the 12-hour counter at 6. The Rallychron Coupe des Alpes comes with 2 straps, the Alpine blue and white nylon one-piece strap, pretty much identical to the goldish yellow one I reviewed on the C1000A Diver. It comes with a square Ollech buckle, and I do love the look because of the colors, and I find it comfortable, but I do wish it was longer, as I'm in the second hole on my 7.5-inch or 19.05 centimeter wrist. I do love that large one-piece keeper though. Now the other strap is a mesh bracelet, and this is one of the first times checking out the mesh from OW. Right off the bat, I do wish it was longer as well, as with the 48mm length of the case, I could use a longer strap to better balance the watch on my wrist. But that's not the real issue. I just don't like how this bracelet is. It's metal, so we refer to it as a bracelet, but in reality it's a strap, as it has holes and a buckle. And at least on this type of mesh, it just doesn't work very smoothly. Sliding the buckle up and down to get it into place isn't easy, it constantly snags, and it's even worse trying to get it off, as once you do put the prong in the hole, well, to get it off you need to pull that buckle back far to be able to get that prong out, as this again is a metal strap with not a lot of flex. Doing this off the wrist isn't easy, so yes, on the wrist it's really a pain. For me, it would be worn on the Alpine one-piece strap or a rubber strap, as I'm sure you could find an FKM rubber to match this Alpine blue colorway, and it will look awesome on a rubber strap in my opinion. Lume is pretty decent, all the printed markers are lumed, and it looks really good all charged up in the dark, and you get a touch of dual lume as the chronograph arrow tip is lumed in blue instead of green. Just don't expect this one to be an all-night lume monster. Whether you are into rally racing or any kind of motorsports, or you just like cool watches, which is the category I fall into, the Ollech Wajs Rallychron Coupe des Alpes is in my opinion a very well made and designed piece. I love the case, the dimensions really don't even bother me here, as the chrono buttons add to the size and it makes it feel larger than that 39.5mm. And I of course love that gray dial, even if it's not as dark as shown on the OW website. And of course, I love that Alpine blue. My only real gripe is that mesh strap, but fortunately it comes with that nylon one piece, so out of the box you have something to wear with it. And hey, maybe I'm just not a mesh guy at all, and I'll have a bias on every one I try. I don't know. I do know this one is very limited, and depending on when you are watching this video, they could already be sold out for the year, but it seems the regular Rallychron is a standard production model, so there should always be one version on the website. Okay, that's all for this one. I hope you enjoyed the review. As always, ask any questions down below. Links to the OW website and a written review on watchreport.com are in the description. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.